Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I am Bill.
I am Trevor.
And we are Bill and Trevor's Excellent Adventure. And we are having an excellent adventure right now because some strange stuff is about to go down.
Mm-hmm. It sure is.
Who's reading now?
I will read.
Okay.
We'll continue in verse 17.
Yes, sir.
On his arrival, Jesus found... Well, hold on. We should say we're in chapter 11 of John.
We should say that.
Yes, we're in John 11. Let's continue in 17. On his arrival, Jesus found that Lazarus had already been in the tomb for 4 days. Now Bethany was less than 2 miles from Jerusalem, and many Jews had come to Martha and Mary to comfort them in the loss of their brother. When Martha heard that Jesus was coming, she went out to meet him, but Mary stayed home. Lord, Martha said to Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. But I know that even now, God will give you whatever you ask. Jesus said to her, your brother will rise again. Martha answered, I know he will rise again in the resurrection at the last day. Jesus said to her, I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though they die. And whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe this? Yes, Lord, she replied. I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, who has come into the world. After she had said this, she went back and called her sister Mary aside. The teacher is here, she said, and is asking for you. When Mary heard this, she got up quickly and went to him. Now Jesus had not yet entered the village, but was still at the place where Martha had met him. When the Jews who had been with Mary in the house, comforting her, noticed how quickly she got up and went out, they followed her, supposing she was going to the tomb to mourn there. When Mary reached the place where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet and said, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come along with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in spirit and troubled. Where have you laid him? He asked. Come and see, Lord, they replied. Jesus wept.
Let's pause here. We need to make this scene graphic. So let's visualize what it's like. Mm-hmm. Jesus is approaching the village. Now, if you've read the other gospel narratives that were widely circulated before John wrote this one, then you're already familiar with Mary and Martha and Lazarus. Jesus knew them from before.
Yes.
And John alludes, he loved Mary and Martha and their brother Lazarus. I mean, they had this relationship already.
Yeah.
Between the two sisters, Martha is the one who gets the reputation for being on top of stuff, because Jesus is over at their house one time and Martha's busy getting stuff ready and Mary's not doing any of the work. She's just sitting there listening to Jesus, and Martha complains to Jesus about it, and Jesus, no, I'm not going to fix this. Mary's getting what's important. Hint, hint. So we know this about the two sisters, at least at some point.
Yeah.
And then we know now that Lazarus has passed, and it's Mary who's on top of things. She goes out to greet Jesus. And it's interesting to me to note what she says to him. The first recorded words of Martha in this situation is verse 21.
You want me to read it? Yes. Lord, Martha said to Jesus, if you had been here, my brother would not have died.
It's remarkable to me that that's like the first thing out of her mouth. It's obviously what she and her sister had been thinking and had been talking about.
Yeah.
It comes off sounding like it might have been an accusation, but the rest of the conversation seems like she's accepting.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Yeah.
But she's very obviously hurting.
Still mourning through her acceptance.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Jesus says to her, your brother will rise again. Which, again, superficially, seems like one of those religious platitudes that people like to circulate, make themselves feel good.
Yep.
And so she replies, appropriately to the superficial platitude, yes, I know he will live again at the last day. But Jesus is not being superficial.
No, he's not.
And he says he's trying to get to something important. Martha, you know me. what do you believe is true about me? Do you understand that I am the force of life?
Mm. Yeah.
In verse 27, yes, Lord, I believe that you are the Messiah, the Son of God, who is coming into this world. That's a profound expression of faith.
Mm-hmm.
And that was enough, apparently.
Yeah.
So then she runs and tells her sister, the teacher is here and is calling for you. And when Mary hears it, she rose up quickly to follow him. Now, Jesus had not yet come to the village, but was still in the place where Martha had met him. When the Jews who were there with her in the house, consoling her, saw Mary rise quickly and go out, they followed her, supposing that she was going to the tomb to weep there. So here again, I'm going to pass along a preacher story. When I say preacher story, I mean, I don't know, but I've been told.
Okay.
I've heard a lot of preachers say a lot of stuff that I later checked into and found out was not true. So I'm always dubious.
Yep.
I encourage everybody to be dubious.
Mm-hmm.
But what I have been told is that in that time, in that place, there was a thing, a cultural phenomenon, professional mourners.
Actually, I think I think we've talked about this, funny enough.
That if you had the money, part of the funeral expenses is you would hire people to come and cry.
Mm-hmm.
And part of it is, I guess, like the old song, hey, won't you play another somebody done somebody wrong song so I can feel at home? It's kind of like sort of a phenomenon. They would help you mourn, help you get it out.
Yeah.
And I've also read, this is not biblical, but it's a commentary on modern Western society, that we've lost that. And the people no longer know how to mourn.
Yeah.
And as a result, we have a lot of mental health issues today because people don't know how to get it out.
Yeah.
For what it's worth.
Mm.
So Mary apparently has mourners.
Yep.
It seems to imply that Mary and Martha had some money.
Yep.
But the mourners who are there to console her, they see she's going, so okay, we need to follow up and do our jobs.
Yeah.
So they're going out behind her, so there's a big crowd, or at least some people, more than a couple of people.
Yeah.
And interesting to me, in verse 32, the first thing out of Mary's mouth is,
it says, Lord, if you have been here, my brother would not have died.
It's obviously on the forefront.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like you said, something they definitely have been talking about.
Yeah. And then verse 33, and I think this is significant.
When Jesus saw her weeping, and the Jews who had come along with her also weeping, he was deeply moved in spirit and troubled.
And I think that's remarkable. So I'm remarking on it. What does this tell you about Jesus?
I mean, for me, he was a feeler. He felt everything that we felt. Honestly, more so, it seems like. That Jesus was a deeply emotional person who, and people talk about the, emotion versus rational thinking, like things like that. I feel like that doesn't apply to where we should be in that standard. But Jesus is someone who felt everything deeper probably than anybody could. And it's very interesting to see him get moved in spirit, troubled in spirit because of what he's feeling, not just surface level, but it goes so much further. Like he goes straight into, where have you laid him? He's like, okay, I've seen enough. Let's go.
So you've heard me say several times I was not a religious person when I was first called to Christ. And at that time, my impression of God was that he was interfering with my good time. I didn't think that I was hurting anybody with the way that I was living, and I did not understand what God's problem was.
Yeah.
I submitted to Jesus, not because I loved him so much as because I feared him. I understood the concept of judgment, and I understood God's judgment on my lifestyle.
Yeah.
I did not understand this aspect of Jesus. And frankly, I think that a lot of the religious world has done a poor job of communicating this aspect of Jesus to the world at large.
Yeah.
That God, as you said, is a feeler, and that he is empathetic. And what I could not appreciate the day that I was baptized was that the reason God was interfering with my good time is because he, as the author and the designer of life, knew how life ought to be lived for the best effect and could see what I was doing to myself before I saw the consequences.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just an aspect of God that I think somehow we got to find a better way to communicate.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
So they go out to the tomb and they come and see, and Jesus just breaks down crying.
Mm-hmm.
I remember hearing a sermon once, this was when I was a very young Christian, where some preacher declared that the reason Jesus was crying, I don't know if, was he saying this was the reason, or was he speaking against this being told as the reason? I don't clearly remember. But the idea was Jesus is crying because he's about to take Lazarus out of safety and put him back in the world. I don't get that impression at all, based on Jesus' reaction when he saw Mary and Martha.
I was gonna say, I think it's actually an interesting thought. Funny enough, but I wonder if it's not that, if it's more just being empathetic with Mary and Martha.
The way the story is presented is being presented to deliberately to give you this impression of him being empathetic.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll pick up and read.
Okay.
So the Jews said, "See how he loved him." But some of them said, "Could not the man who opened the eyes of the blind man also have kept this man from dying?" So that ties things together in chronological order. You realize that John chapter 9 and all of that debate is what drove Jesus out of the area, but now he's coming back to the area. The apostles are really concerned because they think they're all going to get killed.
Yeah.
So this is, everybody's thinking, oh my goodness, he came back here.
Yeah.
Then Jesus, deeply moved again, came to the tomb. It was a cave, and a stone lay against it. Jesus said, "Take away the stone." Martha, good old Martha, Martha, the sister of the dead man, said to him, "Lord, by this time there will be an odor, for he has been dead 4 days."
Mm-hmm.
And in the words of the famous rapper, "You don't want that." Jesus said to her, "Did I not tell you that if you believed, you would see the glory of God?" So they took away the stone. And Jesus lifted up his eyes and said, "Father, I thank you that you have heard me. I knew that you always hear me, but I said this on account of the people standing around, that they may believe that you sent me." And when he had said these things, he cried out in a loud voice, "Lazarus, come out." And one time I heard another sermon preached where the preacher was saying, "And he called him by name." And do you know why he called him by name? Because if he didn't call him by name, everybody would have come out. That's how powerful he is.
That's pretty funny. That's good.
He said, "Lazarus, come out." And then the shocking verse.
Mm-hmm.
And the man who had died came out, and his hands and feet bound with linen strips, and his face wrapped with a cloth. Jesus said to them, "Unbind him and let him go." Describe what that looked like.
I mean, I see, in my head at least, a giant tomb with a stone over it. And Jesus asked people to move the stone. I don't even know. I think they just said, "Take away the stone." That's what he said. Yeah, just take away the stone. So I don't know who did it, but that stone's got to be pretty big.
Yeah, I imagine it's a bunch of guys.
There's a bunch of guys moving the stone, and probably the mourners that were with Mary and Martha. And they just see Jesus pause for a second and say all these things to God, to his Father. Man, I can't imagine after he says, "Lazarus, come out." Everybody's got to be scared out of their mind at first.
That's what I'm saying.
They're, got to be scared because it looks like a mummy at that point,
Yeah.
He comes out. He's bound in everything. He's covered completely.
A man that I know for a fact to be dead.
Mm-hmm.
I could smell the aroma when they first rolled the stone away.
Mm-hmm.
And then this mummy comes out.
Apparently.
I feel like if I had been there, I would not have stuck around to see the rest of the story.
Probably not. Probably not. As soon as I saw him, I'd probably would have left.
So imagine for those brave souls that did not run. Jesus says, unbind him.
Mm.
Can you imagine walking up to the dead man and taking the wrappings off?
Jeez.
Literally.
Yeah. Not to mention he's probably not wearing anything else. So that's got to be very interesting. But it almost makes you wonder how many people were in attendance at that point, but what a powerful scene to call someone by name and have a dead man walk out of a tomb. Man.
Verse 45. Many of the Jews, therefore, who had come with Mary and had seen what he did, believed in him.
Mm.
Really?
Pretty hard not to at that point.
Verse 46. But some of them went to the Pharisees and told them what Jesus had done. Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah.
Okay, what do we know about the Jewish authorities at this point?
Well, they don't like him.
They don't like Jesus. Don't confuse me with the facts.
Nope.
I already believe what I believe.
Exactly.
And apparently, some of the mourners are with that party.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, unfortunately.
And here comes, I think we ought to stop here because I want to discuss what happens next fully, and we don't have time to really get fully into it.
Yeah, we don't.
So let's wrap this up and say that I am Bill.
Oh, and I am Trevor.
And we have been all of that good stuff.
Bill and Trevor's Excellent Adventure.